What's up YouTube, Day of Zephyr Wargames, bringing you Rob's build for Orcust. Now Orcust are the new kind of art type coming off of like the World Legacies, World Chalices and stuff like that. Very like colourful kind of cards, and they're very detailed and very powerful to kind of play around with. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take you through the profile, show you everything we've got, and explain why we've got it and exactly what they do. So we'll start off with the main deck. So straight away on the main deck, we play triple Orcust Harp Horror. This is the level 4 card. And basically what it does is, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon one Orcust monster from your deck, except itself. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn, except dark monsters. You can only use the effect of Harp once per turn. We've then got triple Orcust Symbol Skeleton. You banish this card from the graveyard, target one Orcust monster in your graveyard, except itself, and special summon it. Again, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of this turn except dark monsters. Not an issue in this deck, as you can imagine, it is a very dark orientated art type. And then we play triple Orcust Brass Bombard. Banish this card from the graveyard, special summon one Orcust monster from your hand, except itself. Again, limits you into darks for the rest of the turn. So obviously you max out on all these guys here. They're very useful and very powerful. Then for the World Legacy cards, we've got triple World Legacy Wand. This card is, if this card is sent to the graveyard, you special summon one World Legacy monster from your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, then target one of your banished Orcust monsters, special summon it. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except dark monsters. And then of course we've got double Crown, because Crown is still very useful. You special summon it to a zone a link monster points to in defense position. And of course, if a monster in the extra monster zone activates this effect, special summon from the extra deck activates this effect, you treat this card, negate and destroy. So it's very powerful. Because the Orcust want to be engraved, we play triple Armageddon Knight to do so. And then because we want to try and keep this as budget as we can, we've got triple Effect Veiler as well. Of course, if you want to be putting more money into it, you can do. The most expensive card is probably the Secret, and that is only sitting at about £8, and that is at sneak peek price. This can get even cheaper as it goes down. Speaking of which, we do play triple Orchestrated Return. The artwork on this is stunning. We've only got 2 at the moment, but of course, you play it at free. You send one Orcust or World Legacy monster from your hand or face up from the field to the graveyard, draw 2 cards. So this kind of helps get your Orcust engraved, as well as drawing you more cards. See, the dog is just as happy about drawing 2 cards, as you can see. Or here at least. So yeah, a nice little pot of grief for the Orcust as their own art type. Then, because they're all darks, you can play triple Allure of Darkness, and like you saw with the World Legacy World Wand, you can special summon your banished monsters. You could, of course, if you wanted to, play Return from a Dark Dimension. This, of course, then puts Banishment from Dark Dimension, apologies. The quick play that puts 3 cards from your banished zone back into the graveyard. That could be a very useful kind of turn for the deck as well. We've then got 2 Orchestrated Babble. Now these are very important. The field spell, you activate the effects of Orcust monsters in your graveyard or of link monsters you control with Orcust in their original name as quick effects. So during your main phase, if this card is in your graveyard, except the turn it was sent there, you send 1 card from your hand to the graveyard and add it back to your hand, which is why it's searchable and playable off of the Link 2, which we'll show you when we get to the extra deck. 2 of the Orchestrated Enzats, might have butchered that. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster except during a damage step, you can take 1 Orcust or World Legacy monster from your hand or deck and either send it to the graveyard or banish it. You can only use the effect once per turn, so it's nice to get your cards from your deck to the grave as well. We've then got a couple of one-offs. Now with the one-offs, the ones that aren't limited specifically to 1, you can start to juggle about a little bit more. So of course we've got 1 Twin Twister, this can be 2, 3 if you want to. The 1 World Legacy Succession could be 1 or 2. The 1 limit removal, they are all machines, believe it or not, especially the Link monsters. Getting your Orchestron on board and putting it into a 6k beta is unreal. So limit removal at 2 could be very useful. Obviously 1 for 1 is only at 1, but this gets you your Skull, your Bombard, sorry, from your deck to the field very easily, and then puts an Orcust in the grave. Straight away you've got an instant Link 2. Machine Dupe, it does only have 1 target, so it is a bit of a gamble playing this because you do need to be hitting your Bombard. So you could take Machine Dupe out if you wanted to, or you could probably make the deck a bit more centric around playing the Machine Dupe plays. Then got the one Monster Reborn and the one Foolish Burial. Obviously, Foolish Burial is self-explanatory, and so is Monster Reborn. For the traps, we play 3 Orchestrated Core. So once per turn, you banish 1 monster from your field or graveyard, then target 1 Orcust or World Legacy card you control, except itself. Neither player can target it with card effects this turn, even if this card leaves the field. If other Orcust and or World Legacy cards you control will be destroyed by battle or card effect, you can send this card to the graveyard instead. So it just gives you a bit of board protection. Again, it is not a necessity in deck. If you want to play around with it a little bit more, you can do. It just gives you a few more options to trial out. Like I said, we want to try and make this deck as budget as we possibly can, and in the main deck, the most expensive card would be the Secret Orcust, and you're looking at, like I said, £8 at sneak peek prices. Now onto the extra deck. We play 2 Orchestron. Again, these are not expensive at all. They're probably about £3–4, maybe even drop less than that after sneak. So it's a Link 4, and it requires 2 plus effect monsters, including an Orcust monster. This Link card cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. You can target 3 of your banished machine monsters, shuffle them into the deck, and if you do, the attack and defense of any linked monsters your opponent currently controls becomes 0. Also, their effects are negated. You can only use the effect once per turn. We then play 2 Longrisu, the Orchestrator. As you can see, this is Ningrusu. So 2 effect monsters, including 1 Orcust, and it is a Link 3. This linked card cannot be destroyed by card effect. You can target 2 of your banished machine monsters, shuffle them into the deck. Then you can send 1 linked monster from your opponent controls to the graveyard. This card cannot attack the turn you activate this effect. You only activate it once per turn. We then play 3 Galatea, the Orchestrated Automation. Again, really beautiful card. And of course, it requires 2 effect monsters, including at least 1 Orcust. This link card cannot be destroyed by battle. You can target 1 of your banished machine monsters, shuffle it into the deck. Then you can set 1 Orcust spell or trap directly from your deck. You can only use the effect once per turn. So this searches you out your field spell, your continuous spell, or your continuous trap. So it's very useful. Then, of course, you've got the generic link monsters that are always going to be helping you out, and that is, of course, your Cerberus, discard follower, Link Kribo for your 1-drop, Phoenix, again, discard and get rid of. They are all dark monsters, so Wee Witch can give you that additional boost. Deco Talker as well, and then, of course, you've got your topological Bomber Dragon. Now, this card is very important, very powerful, because what this card can do is you can activate, with the field spell, you can activate your Orcust Engrave as quick plays. Now, if you use those effects to banish 1, bring 1 back to the zone and nuke the board, that's obviously a plus straight away. But on top of that, when you've got stuff like this guy, your Ningrisu, who, if it's co-linked straight away, cannot be destroyed by card effects, you nuke the board, you're not going to be able... Oh, it's out of camera. There you go. If you link it there, you nuke the board, your Ningrusu is going to stay, or your Lingrusu is going to stay. So you maintain board advantage with your topological. So topological is a very nice one to pick up. And then for the rank 4s, we've got 1 Tornado Dragon as a staple. And then we've got the 1 Minerva. Now, this was something Rob mentioned because they want to be in the graveyard. Your Orcust want to be in the graveyard to start using and abusing their effects. So Minerva with Armageddon Knight and the Orcust Horn give you a bit of rank 4 playability. Obviously, the only downside to this is you're milling with only the intention of getting the stuff to grave. So alternatively, if you wanted to, you could cut down some of the one-offs for some either Twilight Swans or Light Swans. Maybe Twilight Swans more because they're darks. And then you could use and abuse their dark effects as well. So a nice little combo with these two could work out nicely. Also on top of that, another kind of combo that might work is Dangers. So if you put Dangers in there, obviously they dark as well. And then you discard your Orcust from hand, you're getting a plus off of them by banishing them and either special summoning 1 from the deck, special summoning 1 back from the grave, or of course special summoning from the hand. Less so from the hand, but coming from the deck and grave could also be invaluable and very useful for the deck. Anyway, that is it for the orchestration, or the Orcust deck. It's a very fun deck, and like I said, it is budget. You can build this deck. The Minerva might be a 10 quid card, but you can take that out if you don't need to. This is easily a 30 quid or less deck, maybe a little bit more, depending on if you go all out on the secrets. And like I said, I honestly reckon the secrets will drop to about £5 a piece, maybe a little bit less than that, after Sneak is officially finished, and once the boxes come out, depending on how easy they are to get hold of, which, you know, with everyone hunting Fun Dragons, I think these will be one of the easiest secrets to get hold of. On top of that, the rest are all rares and commons, so they're very easy and cheap to pick up. So definitely one of the budget decks to trial out and pick up, because I think these can catch a lot of people by surprise and be very powerful, whether as an engine in another deck or just as its own. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and until next time, guys, as always, happy dueling. Also YouTube, thanks for watching that video. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button. And of course, don't forget to hit that big red subscribe button in the bottom left hand corner and the notification bell so you don't miss out on anything. We've got more deck profiles, duels, pack openings and many more Yu-Gi-Oh videos coming up for you all year round. So don't forget to stay tuned for all of that. Thanks, and as always guys, happy dueling.